Welcome to Frazlecast, a podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. Each week, we crowd around a table with people from around Azeroth and beyond. Innkeeper, the round is on me! So before we go further...
Sweet, free beer. I can save it for 4 years.
Except for Emma, I think... 1 round. Emma, you get 1 round on me, and then... But
the pink Alex. Tell me I need more.
Okay. 1 round. 1 round.
Tell the pink Elix they need less.
And before we go further, I want to celebrate. Discord now has channel categories! And they are live and glorious. I know that.
I don't know
You
how
owe
I
me
feel
for the
about
cost
it.
of my new hearing aids.
They added line breaks, and that's really it, right?
Kinda. It was, channels can now be put in the categories like we have the tavern, and then, so voice chats and text channels can be put together. At least so now there's organization. So it looks a little bit better than it did before, like the long list.
Right on. I like spaces.
Me too. On mobile, it looks a little different, but iOS 11's been having some interesting stuff.
What you would call bugs are what I would call uniquenesses.
Yes, everything is unique.
I still don't know how I feel about it. It's different. It's new. I have to get used to it.
Okay. That works. And the other thing that you can get used to is we are now on iHeartRadio.
Because we all, I heart you.
Oh. So yeah, it's I submitted it 2 or 3 weeks ago. This morning I checked and we were there. I see some stats on iHeartRadio, so we may have some new listeners, or maybe people be like, "What the heck is this?"
Does it stream live?
I don't think so yet, but we're pretty much on every other service: Twitch, YouTube. We're on Periscope, Mixer.
Wait, we're on Periscope right now?
Yeah, we're pretty much on every service out there.
I remember when Matt Santoro was the #1 Periscoper for like a solid 2 weeks.
I wouldn't say that we're that, but we have some.
I would have to agree.
But what I
considering that I only just found out about it.
Okay. Well, I just only been doing it since like the last episode. I did 1 game stream this week, and then I did that. But yeah, this week we are joined by Deceiverr, JB, Jer, and Lady Emma. And at some point, Papa Crunk will be coming in, but he is currently at a football game.
Right on.
And his kids have scored touchdowns, and they're winning, so way to go! Oh, you know what this call is for?
Go kids.
You know what this call is for?
Frazley.
Am I in a hip-hop song?
Frazley, I think we're going to need a second drinking game.
Am I on Hot 97?
Oh, it works better.
Yeah, how'd you know?
Here we go.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
It works better on the computer because it's harder to click fast enough on the phone.
Dear God, help us all.
Fraz is going to go into a freestyle.
They call me
That's the
Fraz.
problem. That's what I was afraid of.
They call me...
Don't encourage it.
But what I will encourage is let's talk about what we've done this week. Or for some of us...
Is that a shot?
Yes.
I think that's a shot.
Damn, I forgot to bring my booze again, but my character's drunk. Does that count?
Well, if you
Good
see
enough.
if you see my my hat on Twitch right now, I'm actually wearing a baseball cap, so it works.
I'm wearing my warlock robes.
Nice. So Deceiverr, what is your character in the game wearing?
Nothing
Well,
at all.
Hey. Now hold on a second. I'm not on Moonguard and I'm not in Goldshire right now.
Okay, but besides
Meaning
that,
his other character that is there is wearing nothing at all.
I actually don't even have a character on Moonguard.
probably a while.
Someone showed me what it was like on one of their characters, and here, I'll keep it simple. What has been seen cannot be unseen.
Yeah, I I can imagine.
That piques my
Everyone knows
interest.
that.
There's something wrong with you if that piques your interest.
Oh, if you knew JB, you know that there's a lot of things wrong.
There's
Okay.
plenty of things wrong. It's all right.
Well,
with
JB, I'm
Moongar-
guessing Jonathan Bloom, just like someone else I know. So yeah, very, very wrong.
No, that
All right, so
I'm
here's
Jonathan
the
Bloom.
thing about
That's-
Moonguard without being too bad. It's like a permanent porn video everywhere.
Like I said, what has been seen cannot be unseen.
yeah. But what can be
PG for Frazley's sake.
Yeah,
I was trying to keep it PG, but I didn't do a good job because someone decided to continue what I was thinking.
But let's also
I
continue.
plead the fifth.
Wise choice.
Yes. But but I also continue what you were thinking and have any updates for your week or anything that you've done?
I played golf this morning,
Nice.
and my friends decided it would be a good idea to have a golf cart race. And as a result, my friend who was with us, who is an employee and was just, off work that day, very well, it's not likely, but there's a small chance that he may get fired for not stopping us, especially considering it was his idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Especially
But
if
I gotta say, aside from the fact that I was just horrified because of how bad apparently my friends are at driving, at least in a golf cart, I basically had what I think was like 5 heart attacks over the course of 18 holes.
Interesting.
My friends are the world's worst drivers in a golf cart. I heard a ding. Is that Papa Crunk?
Nope, that's
It's the recorder.
Damn it, Frazley. I heard another ding.
that's Craig. That was audio recording.
Damn it.
Craig, not a
Hey.
fan.
Not a fan? Not a fan? Why not a fan? I'm Craig.
Oh, jeez, help me.
That would be why.
At least he's not freestyling.
Yeah. And
Count the small blessings. Count the small blessings.
Eric Gallagher, who would be here and may show up at some point, probably doesn't have any Wi-Fi at his hotel, was going to be here tonight too.
Out of his home.
Yeah. But he's over in his Mustang that I think we didn't wreck. And the video comes out tomorrow. So I'm excited to see.
I can't
Did he
wait to
scare the
see
crap out of you like I told him to?
Oh, Deceiverr, because you weren't here on Tuesday. There's photos of Frazley's facial expressions
Yes, they are.
in the chat, one of the chats, whichever one it is.
The guest chat. It is amazing. And yeah, he thankfully didn't scare me, but my face was amazing.
Amazingly good or amazingly bad?
Amazingly funny.
Amazingly funny. So JB, how have you been?
Yeah. I can't complain, my friend. Just busy working. Not a World of Warcraft player anymore, but I've been playing a lot of Overwatch.
Nice.
Getting adjusted to Mercy's new changes.
Oh, wait. They changed Mercy?
Oh, yeah. Her Q is now free flying for about 30 seconds. You can fly anywhere you want.
No more Resurrect?
It's single res and it's locked to E.
Oh, but you can use it more often.
Yeah, you can use it more often, yeah.
They basically switched the ultimate and the E.
Yeah, but now it's not even, how you could hold shift to glide forward? You don't even need to do that when you use the ultimate now. You could just free fly everywhere. They also added rockets to Diva.
Nice.
Now, would you agree that it would have been better if Terry Crews had voiced Doomfist?
Oh, no doubt.
Because how awesome would it be for him to use his Meteor Strike and you hear, Bear Glove!
I don't know if you've seen it or not, but the movie Idiocracy, I think he was in it. And every time I just think of that movie, I think of Overwatch and Doomfist. It's pretty funny. But no, I've been playing a lot of that. And I also recently got a Gear VR headset for my S8, so I've been diving into some VR games for the first time. Yeah, a lot of motion sickness, but besides that, it's pretty fun.
one of the amazing. I tried one of those out at a party. I think a year or two ago. It is pretty. It's amazing how 1-to-1, even on a mobile, it was, because like I was at this Cirque du Soleil, and when I was looking up and down, I could look all around me.
Yeah, I mean, it's really neat. I mean, you got a 360 view of just about everything. You're standing still. You can't move and navigate through anything without using a gamepad. But, I mean, it still looks really neat. That Circus Delay one you just said, yeah, I think I tried that one. It's really neat. Not for everybody, though. Like I said, like I could get really sick really quick using it.
Yeah, I think it's a technology that still needs to figure that part out, because that's one thing I've heard from a lot of people is the motion sickness.
What's really neat, though, is I was able to set up my Plex server as DLNA and access my Plex server in Gear VR in a virtual movie theater, watching my 3D movies from my computer onto the Gear VR headset.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool.
It's really neat. It's really creepy how real it looks. But besides that, not much else of anything else, really. I saw the movie.
That movie looks amazing. I don't like horror movies, but it looks amazing.
Be afraid. Be
sorry, but
very
it doesn't
afraid.
have Curry in it. I'm sorry. Curry is the original It, and he's just It.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he's the original Pennywise and the only Pennywise.
Yeah. I enjoyed the movie. I really didn't enjoy that new guy's version of Pennywise. He had this like really less than, I don't know. It was a really obnoxious laugh throughout the entire movie, and I just couldn't stand him.
Yeah,
I actually liked him better, I think.
Yeah, that's the general consensus I keep hearing.
Obnoxious how? As in like kind of more of a hyena laugh sort of thing?
Yeah, nothing was really scary about the character. All they did was just make him laugh and just like kind of try to act diabolical. And it was like, all right.
So they basically forced Tim Curry and the Joker to have a baby and made that the new Pennywise the Clown.
No, because then that would have more character, in my opinion.
Tim Curry was the original It?
Yes.
Yeah, Tim Curry was the original
Okay,
Pennywise.
I've got to see the original It. Anything that Tim Curry's in, I've just got to see, because I've been listening to him.
So you've seen Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Not yet. I danced to Time Warp, but I need to see it.
You have to have an open mind when you watch that one.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of openness throughout the movie.
Yeah, first time watching it, I was 4.
Now, when you say openness,
Keep it.
I am genuinely confused.
Well, I mean, Frazley should get the gist by doing the Time Warp. I mean, just listen to the lyrics.
Absolutely. I was.
Okay, so is it not safe for work?
No.
No. Yeah.
Well, maybe not safe for work in the 90s.
Yeah.
But
Probably,
in 2017, I don't know. It depends on your job, maybe.
It sounds tame from what we know nowadays, but
with Walking Dead on TV and everything like that, Rocky Horror is like preschool.
yeah. Well, on the
You
news,
mean even Games of Thrones is a bit worse.
Oh, that's
as far as I'm concerned, the safe for workness of anything almost depends less on your job and more what state you're in. Because if you're in California like me, people have basically given up on the concept of modesty.
Gotcha.
kind of like Europe as well. In some areas.
In a different sort of a way, though, because in Europe it's more of like they don't care as much, whereas in California it's like, look at me, my shorts are so short, you can see my ass anyways. Why should I be wearing these? In high school, the freshmen dress like that.
Well, yeah, but when I was in middle school, there were like pregnant like middle schoolers. Like that's nothing new.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, at
I'm
my
34.
middle school. One of the students at my middle school was one of Nikki Sixx's daughters.
Oh, look at that.
And I don't know if it's true or not, so assume it's a lie. But I kept hearing that she actually, over the course of 1 year over the course of 3 years at that middle school, she had 2 abortions and lost one of the children from drugs.
That's no good.
Wow. In middle school. Wow.
In middle school. It's ridiculous. I mean, in all fairness, you can't really blame her for anything. Her dad doesn't set a very good example.
Parents don't want to take responsibility anymore, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's Nikki
also,
Sixx,
a lot of
the guy who almost died on heroin and was actually pronounced legally dead for like 7 seconds.
But
True.
also, parents have less freedom to discipline their children and keep them in line because everything they do is excused as child abuse.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. There's no such thing as discipline anymore. So the kids at my school, basically, the ones who want to misbehave are going to misbehave, and there is no incentive for them to not, because, oh, what are you gonna do? Suspend me?
Someone's got to pull a Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Minds going on.
I have to say, one thing that I was kind of proud of when I was in England was in the supermarket, a kid was misbehaving, and a mother actually grabbed the child and pulled it aside and says, if you don't start misbehaving, I will smack your bottom right here in the superstore. And I'm like, yes, that's kind of how I was raised. My mom did the same thing.
I simultaneously commend that parent, and I'm horrified.
All I'll say from my own personal experience is it was used sparingly, but I remember every time I was spanked, and there was a very good reason. But that's for me. I'm not condemning or condoning that. I'm just saying it worked for me.
Right
Well,
on.
I don't really see you as someone who, as a kid, would have been like, and misbehave.
I had ADHD, and I still do, but it caused a lot of problems, and sometimes I did not know boundaries.
So my definition of ADHD or of misbehaving is very different because of my high school, which I'm not going to name because it's close to where I live. But it's oh my god! In the middle of class last year, one of the teachers quit their job at the end of the year because they ran out of patience for the students because they knew there was nothing they could do to discipline them without getting fired for disciplining them. And do you know what happens? So someone I know was threatened. Like there was like a food fight going on, and he got blamed for a grape that hit this kid who was like one of the druggy gang member wannabe sort of guys. And he walks up to this guy and he said to the guy who he thought threw the grape and said, "Lick my shoe." The guy who did not throw the grape but was thought to have said, let's just call him Joe. Joe said, "No." And the would-be gangster, or the wannabe gangster, proceeds to try and knock him out. And in 2 seconds is in a headlock. And what does the school do? Punishes Joe. And says, "He could have been a hemophiliac. You could have killed him."
Wow.
Yeah. They can't discipline anyone. Because if they try, the parents will sue the school.
Did they give Joe a participation trophy?
I was like, yeah, actually, I think the sports... No, you see, my school's sports teams have a history of being particularly shitty. We have not won in football literally ever since the school was started back in the 80s. And they've only won in baseball once back in the 90s. It's bad. My school is pathetic. It's just a bunch of really whiny people, basically. They have an entitled attitude. And I'm not worried about that being something to be used as, oh, I know where you live now, because like 50% of California is a bunch of entitled rich white people. So
I think a lot of kids feel entitled because they think that they can get away with anything, and they don't respect the authority that's been put over them by the school. There are some bad authority figures, but sometimes it's just the kids they think that they're above whatever is going on in that area. So I mean,
well, they all know that there's nothing the school can do to punish them, so they take advantage of that to the fullest. Because it's like, well, I want to do this, and I know there's going to be zero consequence other than my parent may be cutting off my funds from $50,000 a month to $49,000 a month. So I'm going to go do it.
That's not a good foundation for life.
It's not. And just for the record, when I emphasized a bunch of rich white people, I'm not saying that because it's like, oh, I'm not white. I'm very much. I look like a damn marshmallow. So just so that way no one thinks I'm trying to be like racist or anything against a different skin color. Like I look like a fucking marshmallow. Both in color and in weight. Wow.
But,
Yeah.
I was playing Overwatch this week.
Yes.
And they also changed Reinhardt. You could actually have free view when you're holding up your shield now. Free roam view, I believe. So you could you can move around easier. And yeah, besides that, haven't been doing much. Just work and gaming.
Nice. And do I see that you've been working on some various video game forums?
Yeah, those are the jobs I'm doing. I'm a freelancer working for a staffing agency that does video games.
Nice.
So I'm just doing admin work for a few different websites and forums.
So when you're on a forum, this is for the listeners, when you're on a forum, you're upset with the admin, please realize there is a real human being on the other side of that. You may not like what the admin's doing, but just realize there's a real live human being.
Yeah. Oh, no, 9 times out of 10, they won't like what we're doing.
Yeah.
You gotta deal
I don't
with
care if it's an actual human being. I don't care. I want to cuss and threaten people when I want to cuss and threaten people, and they're getting in my way.
Was that your Quagmire, Andrew Dice Clay mix going on there?
Oh, if you want Quagmire.
Oh, no.
All right.
There you go. Nice.
Giggity goo.
Well,
You got a comedian on here every week, dude.
yeah, I know.
You gotta be making bills with this podcast.
Oh yeah. 0.00. Absolutely.
You're on iHeartRadio, and I hear they're a very favorable medium of listening to streaming quality music and podcasts.
So yeah, I'm right up with there with all the big names like Howard Stern.
Hey, that guy, I would not complain if I woke up being him. I wouldn't have to work another day of my life.
Yeah.
Him, Jim Norton's on there too, on XM and Sirius. And I don't think I've ever had an XM or Sirius subscription in my life. I don't know. I don't see the point in paying for satellite.
Back before cellular activity was so prevalent, and you had a phone with you pretty much everywhere you went. I know people who had it in their car, and back then it was okay because it would stay with you wherever you go. But now, I don't think it's as viable, especially
it's similar to how when cable TV first came out, and they were advertising it as you pay for cable because you don't have any commercials, and then it turned into nothing but commercials. Now, when they first introduced satellite radio, it was you get to listen to all of your music uncensored, all the vulgarities you want to hear. And then what do? They're censoring everything.
and adding commercials on some of it.
Yeah.
Well,
so I don't know.
It's like this is the geeky stuff part of the podcast. Just because someone made a good point. So Disney is removing Marvel and Star Wars from Netflix and putting it on their own $20 service. CBS is putting all their stuff on their own service. It sounds like NBC
Disney is actually doing that until I think like 2020 because it's a big undertaking for them and it's going to cost them a fortune. And my prediction, just for the record, it's going to fail and they're going to lose a lot of money.
Gonna flop.
No, they're planning on changing it next year after all their contracts are done.
Yeah.
Next year? Because when I contacted a guy from Netflix, he said it was that the Disney stuff wasn't disappearing till like 2020 or 2019.
It might be different for me. I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we have a different licensing rule. And I believe they stated it was basically next year for us, all our Disney stuff is gone.
When I think we might not be getting new stuff, some of ours might be going away in the United States. But like someone made a good point. We brought piracy down a little bit by going to Netflix because you could pay one price to get everything. Now we're going back to cable again. You pay for so much. I mean, the cost of HBO, Hulu, Netflix.
You might be back to cable. You might be.
Well,
I have some shady as shit websites that I use.
I plead the fifth again.
I'm not naive, and I know that there are plenty of people who do it, but it's just like, don't the studios realize that they could actually make more money if they were to make it easier to get their content?
Yeah, but then how are they supposed to make money and screw people over, and make it difficult for people's lives? Because the company way, as according to South Park, is, oh, we're sorry about that, while they're massaging their nipples.
I mean, yeah. I mean, clearly they're not taking into account convenience, or they wouldn't be trying to pull all their stuff and putting it on their own app. So they really don't care what the consumer thinks. They just want the money. Everyone knows that.
And that's where it's not consumer focused anymore. It is business. You need to make a profit as a business, but you also need to be customer focused. And I think that they are not. And I guess we're not going to get any Disney sponsorships now. Oh, well.
Well, what do you expect from Disney? They are ridiculously wealthy of a company. All they care about is money. If you look at a lot of their new shows for kids on Disney Channel,
those are awful.
Honestly, they're trash.
Yes.
The old shows, they still cared, but now they realize because the Disney label is so impressive now with TV, they could literally film just a dog shit on the sidewalk for half an hour, smack the Disney label on it, and make millions.
I'm sorry to tell you, but they've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I know they have.
Oh, they have, yeah.
The last time, is my opinion, one of the last things that they made that was good, in terms of like live shows with real actors, would be the old Zack and Cody stuff.
I could give you Zack and Cody.
I'm so old that
so
Zack
on
and
that.
Cody was bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm more even Steven.
Arguably, that is. Because I grew up, I was like 6 when most of that stuff was coming out. At least the original show. So to me as a little kid, that seemed good.
Oh,
but
yeah.
And I'm able to look back at it with fond memories without vomiting too much.
Yeah, I mean, nostalgia
Just a little
is
bit.
strong in all of us.
Only a little bit of vomit, not a lot. But like I look at their new stuff, and I just have to have like 2 5-gallon buckets next to me.
I'm sorry to
otherwise,
tell you,
I'm going to have a lot of a mess to clean up.
Deceiverr, I'm sorry to tell you, but you're starting to kind of grow up. So things that you thought, like people, when you were watching let's say Zack and Cody at that age, kids at that age are finding this stuff still good. But you're growing up and realizing it's not for you.
Yeah.
The problem with the new stuff is I've asked some friends of mine who are on the younger side who were, like when I was enjoying Zack and Cody as a little kid, they're that same age trying to enjoy this stuff. And even they're looking at it and going, the fuck is this? This isn't television.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say there's a lot of shows that I know tons and tons of people really like, but the stupidity of it hurts my head so much that I can't stand it. But then you get me for cartoon wise for Disney, Tailspin and
Darkwing Duck.
DuckTales.
Darkwing Duck was a different one. DuckTales, the original DuckTales, and
Goof Troop.
Goof Troop is pretty good. I'm thinking of the Chipmunks.
Oh,
Chip and
Dale.
Chip and Dale. Rescue Rangers.
Yeah,
Oh, I love Chip
those
and Dale.
are really well done.
Yeah.
And now they're putting out cartoons that they don't make you think. It's mind numbing, and they make stupid, idiotic jokes.
I see what you did with the DuckTales there. Are you referring to the new DuckTales?
Woo!
I actually have not seen the new DuckTales.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Because I know that you specifically said the old one, and then you said newer stuff was kind of not too good.
I haven't seen the newer one, so I can't
Gotcha.
judge on that. But based on patterns of remakes, the classics the originals are always going to be good. And so, same thing when you go to the Disney movies. You got Mulan 1 is really well done. Mulan 2 should never been done.
Yeah.
I think the only sequel movie, like Aladdin, Return of Jafar, was actually not bad. I actually enjoyed that one.
Except,
And
weren't they unable to get Robin Williams for that?
yeah, they didn't. But Aladdin and the 40 Thieves, they did get Robin Williams back for the genie.
Unfortunately.
But it's the same thing with Lion King 1 and Lion King 2. When Disney or any other companies do a remake or a reboot of a series, is never the same. I will give Nickelodeon credit when they did Rugrats and then they rebooted it as All Grown Up. It was good because it still had the same characters, but there were enough difference for the show that it's not the same show.
Yeah, I struggle with All Grown Up because it doesn't feel like the original. I'm a huge Rugrats fan, but
Well, you have to see it as two different things. They're two different shows completely.
and I think that's why I was expecting it to be more like the Rugrats, and yeah, you're right. If you see it as a different show, it is a little bit more different.
Now, I have a question. I grew up watching Girl Meets World. It didn't really take off very well.
Yeah,
I've never seen a single episode of Girl Meets World. I've only seen Boy Meets World, and I really liked it.
Oh, the children in the show were obnoxious as hell.
well, and I think it is hard to repeat the same thing that you did twice.
But with Boy
That's
Meets
why
World,
they
there was
shouldn't be
like
trying to.
there was morals, there was a message.
Yeah,
Sort of message, like in Boy Meets World in most of the episodes, along with like corniness and cheesiness. But this was just like they turned the whole entire franchise into a typical Disney Channel show.
yeah.
It's the same thing like Saved by the Bells. It is outdated now, but it's really well done because it has morals. It always taught you a lesson by the end of the episode. And that's what a lot of those shows back in the day were. It's like, okay, what did you learn from seeing these people do something? It might be overly dramatic. It might be stupid, but there's always a lesson to learn.
Yeah, and that is true. That it was a little bit more redeeming of a show, whereas here it's a little less. Like, believe it or not, I've been impressed with Parks and Recreation. There actually are some messages in the show. It's not just all slapstick comedy.
Which show?
Parks and Recreation. I've been watching a lot of that. And some of it's weird humor and like just like comedy, but some of it actually is teaching dynamics. I mean, obviously, it's the extremes of an organization. You have the one who doesn't want to do anything, the one who wants to do everything, and the one who just gets in the way. But there are times where you see a character develop.
I can never get into Parks and Rec. I did enjoy The Office.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I just recently did a binge watch of that earlier this year. It's a really good show.
Yeah, and it had its crude moments here and there and everything. Generally, good mix of humor.
Yeah, and it's based off of things of like those stories that you always talk about like working at the office. And I mean, it was based off of those. So people could relate to the characters.
Yeah, I always had a good time watching it.
So I will admit, watching the older shows, it can wreck the memories because they're usually not as good. Except for Reboot, everyone should be watching Reboot.
Is that CGI cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh, I couldn't. I was when I was younger, but I don't know. I don't think I could do it again.
It's so good, though.
Everyone should watch.
They're planning on rebooting it.
Sorry.
Oh.
Rebooting the reboot.
A reboot.
That was a knee slapper
called Reboot.
Now they are kicking themselves.
I'm
at
cracking
the very
up.
End of the show. There you do like the whole season and everything of the original. You do get to see a computer and it's starting up, and they realize we should have just made that say like rebooting.
Wait, so is this going to be like a live action?
No. Basically the very original reboot. At the very end, when they were ending it, they had to reboot the mainframe because of all the viruses and stuff. So there was an actual scene where you saw the computer with the DOS format at rebooting.
Nice.
And
Is that supposed to be like an implication that there's going to be a sequel?
I don't. Not at that time. They are, like I said, I don't know if they have started doing it, but there was talk about doing it. Another funny little information is about Dot and Andrea's boobs. When I can't remember what network owned them.
Hold on a second. I want to help Frazley here. Is this safe for work?
Yeah.
This is safe for work. This is. Basically, the company kept on changing the sizes of their chest because they were trying to make it appropriate for a kids show. And so one episode or one scene, you'll actually see one side bigger than the other because they're trying to please the show host.
Censors the TV management. Yeah.
Once they got away from them and they kind of went on to another network that's like, have at or have fun, they didn't have that problem. So there was no more problem of one side bigger than the other, or all of a sudden one scene, they're so tiny, there's nothing there, to the next scene that they're not proportioned properly. So
no hate, whatever works.
Exactly. Well, it's what they had to do to get aired, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your show, and you have to please the people that you're doing, and sometimes they may pick at something and it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with it, it's your imagination. So it's just funny what networks do and say what you have to do. It's the same thing when they were dealing with Firefly, that they put, I think it was episode 3 was the first episode they aired.
Wow. Yeah, that would.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying like that would be hard because you start the story in one, so you're coming into a story already on. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, apparently they didn't like the pilot episode, so they didn't air it. So I think the pilot episode got aired later, and then their time slot kept on getting changed, so no one knew when it was actually going to be aired. And it had low ratings because of the inconsistency.
Well, yeah. I mean, how else do you build an audience if you keep changing the time slot?
Yeah, they really destroyed that show by messing with it so bad.
That's one of those shows, if they would have had to find funding, but if they could have redone it in today's culture of Netflix, they probably would have had somebody like Netflix pick it up.
Well, what I still don't really get is I always hear people saying, at least all of my nerd friends saying, hey, how come they never continued the show? That was like the world's greatest show. Why don't they make more? Is this why they don't make more?
No, they made the movie and basically killed off all the characters.
Yeah,
wow.
It's hard to...
Good job, producers.
Yeah.
No, they did it on purpose because no one would pick them up again. Like I said, their ratings were low because they didn't have consistency. So basically, to give everyone a closure of the TV series, they made the movie and basically killed everyone.
Like I said, good job, producers. You have left yourself in a position where now no matter what...
Yeah, you can't...
Like that again. Even if someone says, here, we'll pay you to make more. Now you're going to have more complaints that you continued it than that you ended it and killed everyone.
Now, I found another show that's kind of similar. It's called Dark Matter.
It got canceled the same time my show Blood Drive got canceled after one season.
They have, I think, 3 seasons, though.
Oh, so you got 3 seasons out of it. Blood Drive only got 1. Oh, man.
And I think they're still trying to push for more.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Netflix has 2, on the Canadian Netflix, we have 2 seasons. But I enjoy the show, and I do hope they will make more, and it does remind me a lot like, wow, the name's going out of my head. I'm going to say Serenity right now. But that's the movie's name.
But, somebody that we hope doesn't get canceled is Jer. Hey, Jer.
Shot.
Wow, very you had to reach for that transition there, Frazley.
Yeah, I realized that
That one earned 2 shots, actually.
I put myself into
Who
a
else
box
is in agreement?
with yeah.
Okay, if even Frazley's saying that one earned 2 shots, you definitely need to take 2 shots if you're listening.
Yeah.
As always, viewers have fun being wasted by the end of it if you actually play this game.
Yeah, so I'm going to assume that was about my
I
week.
swear to God, Frazley.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so yeah, my week pretty much just watching and or listening to a lot of the Cubs as they're getting closer to the playoffs. I finally got my MoviePass card in the mail, so went and saw my first movie on the card today. And if you don't know what that is, MoviePass, it's been around for a couple of years, but they recently revamped it. And when you sign up, you get a debit card, and it's $10 a month, and you can see one movie every day.
Wow.
Yeah. So it used to be like $20 or $30, and I think the guy who runs it is connected to Netflix somehow. So their theory is that by doing this, they get you into the theater, and the theater owners should be happy, although some of them are not for whatever reason. You know, you'll go see more movies, so you'll be buying more concessions, which will make the theaters happy, and they plan on trying to make their money back through advertising somehow. So I don't see really how it's going to work, but I'm more than willing to take advantage of it as long as it's around and it's $10 a month, because I can very easily see 20 movies a month. At least that's what I'm going to try to do. I'll go see a movie every day.
Nice. Yeah. Well, and especially like if a ticket's 10, I mean, if you go to the fancy theaters, I mean, a ticket's about $8 to $10.
Yeah, I went tonight, like around, I think it was 4:00, and it was $7.75, I think. So almost made my money back.
Absolutely.
And I saw a really good movie too. I saw Wind River. Probably one of the best movies I've seen this year so far.
I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen, and he's like not really a
Jeremy
ranger,
Renner is Hawkeye in the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, Elizabeth Olsen is Scarlet Witch in the Avengers. But
yeah, that would be Scarlett Johansson.
No, she's
No, it's
Black Widow.
Or yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen's somebody in one of the movies.
She's pretty sure she's Scarlet Witch.
I think so.
Mhm.
Is she short? Is she like really short? Because I think Scarlett's kind of short.
Yeah, I'm not sure how tall she is. But anyway, he's like he's not a ranger, but he's a wildlife. I can't remember what his exact title is, but it's on a Native American reservation, and a girl gets murdered, and he's a father who lost his daughter to a murder a couple years ago, so he's trying to help her. She's the FBI agent who comes in, and he's trying to help her solve the crime. But it was good.
That's cool. I enjoy some of those like crime movies. And is there like a restriction on MoviePass? Like you can only see certain types of movies, or is it pretty much you can see any movie?
You can't use it for 3D or IMAX, but
Okay.
other than that, you can use it for any 2D movies. And it used to be, I'll have to see how it is tomorrow. It used to be that it was a hard 24 hours. So you couldn't like go see a movie at 8:00 at night and then tomorrow go see a movie at noon. You had to wait a full 24 hours. But other than that, it worked fine. You could go see a movie every day.
That's cool. I actually know somebody.
Yeah. I'm just curious to see how long they can, because if a lot of people go crazy with it, they're going to be losing money big time at first. And we'll see. I'm just curious to see how they make their money back.
Well, and when you mentioned advertising, I was thinking about the fact that they are showing more ads. What if they are also using the time that they sell a ticket, and that they know these many eyeballs are watching this ad at this time?
Yeah, could be.
Oh, and I just thought of a thing that a movie theater could do if they wanted to put it in those luxury recliners in a movie theater, they could tell when that's being activated to know somebody's in that seat.
Well, a lot of movie theaters are actually doing reserved seating now.
Yeah.
To reserve your seats online.
And then that way they're probably able to say, hey, to the advertisers, we are selling these many seats. So then we want to charge more. So like the cost per million or however they do their ads.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to how they would prove that it's their service that's driving, more people to see the ads and go to the theater.
Yeah.
But Netflix is pretty successful, so I guess give the guy the benefit of the doubt that maybe he knows what he's doing. But just seems kind of crazy. But although I guess most people wouldn't be like, I plan on going crazy with it and I'm going to try to see every movie that comes out. Most people probably don't have the luxury of being able to do that.
Yeah.
Because of other things they have to do. I don't, other than work 40 hours a week, I don't have any other responsibilities, so I can go see a bunch of movies.
Well, especially because I've heard of the idea that the movie studios want to charge like $20 to rent a movie that's in theaters now. So if it's $10 to see any movie instead of $20 per rental of movie in theaters, yeah, $10 went out, and then you still get the experience of going to a movie theater.
I remember when I used to work in a movie theater, and I would plan one day on the weekend to see every single movie it was playing.
Wow.
And yes, I managed to do it.
Oh, I bet.
They have to be careful, though, or they'll just, the same thing like, you were talking about earlier with all these companies all trying to do their own service. They're just going to price the consumer out, and then piracy will just start climbing right back up again because nobody's going to, people only have so much money.
Yeah. Well, and movie theaters have to be, it has to be a venue that is on the verge because, again, piracy is one avenue. Then you have Netflix and you have people that wait 60, 90 days to buy a movie. Because sometimes, I mean, if a movie is $20, then it's there. You also have people that are selling those ultraviolet codes and stuff like that. So, I mean, there are multiple things. People can get the movie that they want. So, yeah, the cost of running a movie theater versus just giving the content to the consumer. I think it's going down, especially with the access to media that we have nowadays.
You see, now I don't know how they do it, but locally there's a movie theater that actually airs the new ones after like a month or so and charge $1.75 per ticket.
Is that the one where they are? Because like I know with the cheap theaters they would send the projections to all the luxury theaters first, and then they would send them to the cheap theaters. Like I know Cinemark was one.
They usually sold it to them for cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what type of impact that has on the.
Yeah, we had one of those, but it closed down. It's no longer around.
Well, and what I've always seen about cheap theaters, the one thing that happens is you don't always attract an audience who respects your property. So some of those places, like you have,
so it smells like mold and mothballs.
Yeah, and again, it's people not respecting where they're at. So
my experience with those theaters, it attracted a lot of old people who felt that because they only paid $1.50, they could talk as much as they wanted to.
Yeah, I've definitely. I think you and I went to the same movie theater because I think there was one movie.
Like they thought they were at home or something. I can't remember what movie I saw, but it was a Greta Gerwig movie. It was black and white. I just can't remember the name of it, but yeah, this old couple sat there like talking through the first 5 minutes until luckily they decided they hated it and they left.
Okay. Well, I went to see one of the seventh Harry Potter movie. I don't remember if it's part 1 or part 2. And there was a kid behind us who was terrified. The whole time he's like, "Mommy, I'm scared. Mommy, what's going on? Mommy, wait, did Harry die?" It's like, your kid is terrified. Your kid is talking. Get the kid out of the movie. I had to see the movie a second time later on to actually understand what was happening. I read the books, but it was just one of those.
You're going to make me cry. Spoiler alert, bro. I'm joking.
Okay, good.
You may be joking, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
you bastard, you spoiled it. How dare you?
I'm one of those people, I will not see a movie when it first comes out because I know that there's going to be overcrowded. There's so many times I'm sitting beside someone who reeks of BO and you got people on their cell phones and it's just not enjoyable. So I will actually wait until it's less popular. I've somehow managed to avoid all spoilers from all the movies I want to see.
Same.
And wait until, the theater is less crowded.
I managed to get away with not seeing Star Wars The Force Awakens for a little over a year after its release, and I didn't get a single spoiler. Except for the whole Han Solo dies thing.
Wait, what? He does?
Shut up, Frazley.
I still haven't seen it, and that's the only spoiler I know. So I'm kind of in the same boat.
I kind of figured that might happen regardless of whether I'm told ahead of time. I was already figuring, well, someone's going to die. You might as well make it the old guy.
Originally, Chewbacca was the one who was supposed to die, but...
Spoiler alert!
That's too sad.
No, originally. This is not a spoiler. Originally. So Chewbacca was supposed to die, but the Harrison Ford didn't want to do this anymore. He was tired. He seriously did not want to do it. So they opt him out and killed him off instead.
Wow!
No, R2D2.
Wow!
Damn it. Sometimes they land, sometimes they don't. It's all good.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Only about half of my jokes ever get a laugh. Why are you laughing? That one wasn't a joke.
I don't know.
I'm sad now.
Sad clown.
But who I'm not going to laugh at, unless Jared has anything else.
No, that's about it. In WoW, I've just been doing the Argus thing, and it was a good week for mounts. Signed up for the virtual ticket, and so I got the 2 BlizzCon mounts, which both of them are really cool. Of course, I kind of like the Alliance one a little better, and I got the
Scum.
Got the Lightforged Warframe or whatever.
Nice.
I do like the Horde mount though. It is.
Oh yeah,
it is pretty cool.
I think both are amazing, and the fact that we got those off of the ticket is incredible. But nice. And Lady Emma.
After I finish interrupting everyone while they're saying their day of the week, or what they've done for the week. Let's see. I put in a ticket about the Jolly Roger toy and why I couldn't get it. And I didn't like my response. I felt it was haphazard, basically telling me the answers on Wowhead, and that is why. And I hope this satisfies you. So it didn't. So I replied back saying, okay, I still don't understand why I have to be hated with the goblins to be able to pick up that quest.
Well, and with it, again, I understand that there's that Admiral quest if you didn't turn that one in, but they can see on your character that you were honored and exalted with the blood sales. So yeah,
they can see that, and they also could have seen that I once was hated with the goblins. Why do I still need to be hated with the goblins to pick up that quest?
Yeah, I think it was trying to retcon a quest in way after they've. I get the idea behind it, but it needed a little bit of a little bit.
So that basically that kind of put damper on my mood because I've had some really, really great responses from the GMs, and this one just basically sends me a link and the answer's here. That's it. No personality, no feeling, no nothing. It's just like, yep, not going to do anything about it. Here you go.
Yeah. In a company as big as Blizzard, it can be hard to get every stuff.
Yeah. Which I totally understand, hence why I'm still saying, I want more information. So I'm hoping I'll get someone new. I'm hoping. If not much I can do about it.
Yeah.
Other than maybe make a brand new ticket. So other than that, I finally did some Brewfest stuff today, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I have all the toys and everything, and I have the 2 mounts from the dungeon. So I'm like, do I want to spend time getting the transmog stuff that apparently runs out of transmog according to Wowhead after the event's over with? So that kind of confused me. It's like, all right, so do I pick them up, buy them, only can transmog during Brewfest. After Brewfest, they're now out of the transmogrification book, and then that means I have to get them again next year if I deleted them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer if you have to get them again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I'm like, do I really want to spend the effort and time to do that? Then the other thing I could do is spend the time and effort in getting the tokens to upgrade the heirlooms. But that's also time consuming, and you need a lot, like a minimum of 300 for one and 500 for the other. So then that gets me thinking, it's like, well, if I just, make some more gold, I can just buy it off for gold. So
Yeah, I was all excited because I pulled the, on my very first attempt this year, I got the RAM mount.
Oh, congrats.
Oh, nice.
Thank you. But I thought that meant my farm was over because I figured it was like a lot of the other mounts where once you get, the Alliance mount, when I log in on Horde side, I would have the Kodo. And then I just happened to notice I was standing there and there was an Alliance player next to me on the Kodo. I was like, oh, wait a minute.
I was so happy because my Janai is the one who got the Kodo mount because I got it first before the RAM. And I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's a nice mount. So I'm like, all right, guess I'm back to farming on my alts, try to get the Kodo now.
Good luck on that. I'm a little sad that they don't give you new sterns. They used to give you different colors every year, and they stopped it at purple.
Yeah, that was the last.
Yeah, the overflowing blank color Brewfest Stein.
Yeah. I'm seeing if I can find which colors I have.
That was
I
my
only
first
have
year
purple.
doing it, so yeah, purple's still the only one I have too.
Yeah, I've done a little bit of it last year, but I did that on my Horde character, so I need to work on it on Frazley.
No. You need to spend more time on your Horde characters.
Well, he is now human, so I can work on him.
Wait a minute. Forgot. Wait, don't you have a Horde character that you're working on?
Yeah, but he's still a little
Other than the one from our leveling series?
Yeah. But he's like level 6 or 7, so.
Oh my god, Frazley.
I know.
You disappoint me.
I've been working on a lot of stuff.
How dare you?
I've been working on coursework. But like and I'm also hosting a couple upcoming guild events. So it's
Which ones?
I will be hosting the Friday night fight nights for this week and next week, and then Convert to Shenanigans for the next 2 weeks. And I believe I'm hosting 2 or 3 of the Convert to Shenanigans and 2 or 3 of the Friday night fight nights. But if you want to come kill Horde scum and do some PvP brawls and stuff like that, definitely come on over and join us. So it'll be Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 p.m. Pacific. And then Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I did that backwards.
Apparently, they got rid of the feat of strength for the Steins of each year.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did manage to get
I
the
found
strength
one.
of the purple one.
I got the green one.
Lucky.
That was 2009. I can speak. 2009.
When was the last time that it was a color other than purple?
I am looking.
And yeah, Brewfest is currently going on between 9/22 and October 6th. So yeah, go out, drink up, and have fun with it.
Can I interest you in a pint?
And and can I also interest you? There is a new audio
Shot.
drama.
Skip the pints, go to the shots.
Yeah. The story of Alaria and Terralion. I probably just misspelled it. But 1,000 Years of War is the new audio drama. You can find it at worldofwarcraft.com. They have a PDF form so you can read it or you can listen to it. I've heard it's really good. And they're doing where's my mouse? Oh, they're doing raid testing on Friday, September 22nd. They're working on the final boss of the upcoming raid. And I won't mention it directly, but if you go to Wowhead, you can see if you choose, there is a story on the front of Wowhead. Interesting stuff is coming along. So in WoW, and I think the story's going in an interesting place. And I just wanted to say, if you don't care about spoilers, go to Wowhead. If you do care about,
pretty annoyed with some of that stuff.
Okay, so it looks like the first year that they did this was yellow, then green, then purple, and then they just stopped.
So it's been purple since 2010?
Yes.
That is ridiculous. That's lazy even by Blizz's standards.
Yeah.
Oh no, yellow was 2007. So that it doesn't look, I can't find one for 2008.
What am I going to guess?
Probably another yellow.
Why are you restarting this?
Sorry.
Oh.
So apparently I only have credit for the green one. I know I got the yellow one before. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out what else.
Yeah. So definitely go to Brewfest. And yeah, people are working on Brewfest. Trying to think. I'm at a loss for words.
It's because you need to drink more from the Brewfest.
Yar.
And catch those pink Elix.
Pint-sized pachyderms.
I got a
You found
question.
your words.
42.
No. Since we're talking, since we've been talking, a little bit of Alliance and Horde, giving each other crap back and forth. If you could swap one race for another, Alliance to Horde, what would your choice be?
You mean Alliance to Horde or Horde to Alliance or one each?
A trade.
Okay. So if I would as a Horde player, which race would I get rid of to get one of the Alliance races?
Yep.
Okay, that took me way too long to figure out what you meant. I'm losing my mind. What mind?
I have a few different. I know one of them doesn't work for storyline really, but I kind of always before I got into the really lore, I would have always wanted the Blood Elves over on the Alliance and the Night Elves on the Horde.
The Blood Elves used to be the Alliance.
I know.
So that could feasibly work for the lore.
But not the Night Elves.
Yeah, no, that would never happen.
Yeah, exactly. I would have changed those. The other thing is I see Tauren being on the Alliance side because they're friendly. But then trying to figure out, okay, which Alliance character to switch over to the Horde.
Panda.
And no.
That's cheating, Frazley.
So it's kind of I don't know.
If I mained Alliance, I would probably say that I would get rid of the gnomes and take the undeads. But as someone who mains Horde, as an undead usually, I would get rid of the Blood Elves and replace them with the Worgen. Because the Worgen, their dynamic and storyline doesn't really fit with the whole peaceful strivings of the Alliance. They seem more like warmonger creatures that have a bloodlust like the orcs.
Yeah, that would actually be my trade would be the Worgen for the undead, because one, and if I make any lore mistakes, and anybody's more brushed up on lore, feel free to correct me. But I know.
Oh, I will.
I assumed it would be you who would call me call me out. I mean, the Worgen pretty much cut themselves off from the Alliance anyway for a long time with their silly little wall.
Technically, that wasn't the Worgen, that was the Gilneans. And all the Gilneans who were... The Worgen were a thing long before the Gilneans. So...
Yeah, connected to the Druids.
Consider yourself corrected.
Yeah, well, I see what you're saying. I meant Gilneans, because most of them are Worgen now, if they're around. But
I figured that's what you meant, but I don't pass up an opportunity to be a lore whore.
No problem with that. So, and I've come to just pretty much dislike him, to be honest with you. I don't like Gen Greyman. I think he's like you were
He's
just...
kind of whiny.
He's a warmongering old fool who pretty much led his people to ruin by building his wall and cutting himself off from everybody. And the undead, to me, I mean, now this is the part where I'm not, I might not know as much as I should, but aren't pretty much the undead, they're all citizens of Lordaeron who were killed by the Scourge and brought back to life?
Mostly.
But that means they are Alliance, pretty much. Or they should be. Because
They're too
Lordaeron was in the
warmongery,
Alliance.
though. They're way too vengeance interested to really fit the dynamic of the Alliance. Like, if I were maining Alliance, though, I would want the undead just because they're cool.
Yeah, I guess no matter which side they're on, they'll always be kind of like just there out of convenience to have an ally. But
Kinda
it would
like
make
the
sense
goblins.
for the Alliance, because if the Alliance did that too, now they have the Eastern Kingdoms really is all theirs except for the very northern part of it with the Blood Elves. It'd be a nice buffer between the Blood Elves and the rest of the Eastern Kingdoms.
Well, the thing is, with the crap, I had a train of thought and I just lost it. I hate myself.
Would it be out
I
of...
hate when that happens.
Would it be out of... Unless there's an issue wrong with it, I've been hearing about what if the factions are removed? With what
That
we're
wouldn't
fighting.
work.
Okay.
I can name a number of problems with that just in the lore, and not even how many players would be ready to march Blizzard headquarters, each one with a pitchfork in one hand, a torch in the other hand, and a shotgun strapped to their back. Like, I'm not one of the ones, because I see the problems with the lore. I'm not going to be threatening Blizzard over anything, because I know that there's other people who are going to do it, so I waste my time.
Absolutely. But yeah, what are the...
they'd have so many problems if they did that. They'd have to retcon almost every single part of the lore to get away with that.
Okay, so because, like...
Are you talking just moving forward, they have to combine to defeat whatever great evil they're trying to fight?
Well, and I've been seeing how, like, Anduin and the Taran person right now, Bane Bloodhoof, I've been seeing how they've been getting along better. There are times where I almost think that...
You're only just noticing that?
No.
It started back in, like, Cataclysm when Garrosh murdered Bane's father, Cairn. It wasn't really Garrosh's fault. It was Magatha Grimtotem's fault.
Well, I've only really been playing WoW again since last June, so I'm now seeing some of this stuff. I played a little bit in Cataclysm, but not enough to see all that stuff. But I've been seeing...
I mean, the books.
Yeah.
Books, man. It's all about them books.
Oh, yeah.
There has been other, like Jaina and Thrall were pretty close. So there has been other Alliance Horde understanding between characters.
And
there's too much animosity, though. That's the thing. They'd have to make up... what they'd have to do is they'd either have to make up some kind of stupid reason, like with Batman versus Superman. I never saw it, but my friend told me that the reason they stopped fighting was because they found out that their mothers shared the same last name, or the same first name. And they're like, oh, that means we're friends now. That's just stupid.
It's one of the major issues with that movie. And plus, just for a video game, I have Horde characters. I prefer Alliance. I know some people do get a little carried away with they take a video game too seriously. So I make jokes, but it's just in jest.
Same here.
Really care, but it does add a little something to the game. The faction identity does give you a little something.
Yeah, it's a big part of it.
Yeah, it drives some interest in the game, and especially if you're a PvPer, I would think.
Yeah, because I'm with you. Like my Horde jokes are all done in jest. Like even the same as my Gnome jokes. They've always been in jest, and they always intend to be in jest. Just to kind of make people laugh and stuff like that. But yeah.
Well, me and I can't think of his name on Twitter, Bullet, we actually banter back and forth because he plays a mage, I play a warlock. So we have this warlock mage banter where we diss each other, but it's all in fun.
Yeah.
We know it's not serious. We don't mean anything. We say, I don't think mages are bad or stupid or whatever. This is just the banter between us. Because he disses warlocks like crazy. I diss mages. I do have a mage. I'm horrible at it. It's not my type of character. But there's nothing wrong with mages.
I got to say, warlock versus mage is, from what I see on Twitter, it's almost more serious than Horde versus Alliance. Warlock
It's bad.
It kind of is.
Do not get along.
It kind of is.
Yeah, I've seen some interesting things on that too.
Now, when you say interesting, like violence,
Not like
because
that.
I'm kind of no, not sexual.
No.
Why does your mind always go there? Get your head out of the gutter.
Why did
Like
your mind go
violence?
there,
Because-
Deceiverr?
You heard what she said. You know what she was thinking.
I'm just gonna blame you.
Okay,
He
go
does.
for
He
it. I don't
always
care.
blames me for everything.
But yeah, no, but
Whatever. I just picked the first person that pops into my mind. Usually it was whoever was just talking. No, but like, fuck, I'm having a bad night. I keep losing my train of thought. I hate myself right now so much for that.
You were talking about Rule 34 in World of Warcraft.
Rule 34?
no.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Crap.
You,
Well, I guess I'm not going to be on the podcast for very many more episodes because clearly I have all.
you're good. You're good.
It's nice knowing all you people, whoever you are. What are your names again?
Bob.
Billy Bob.
No, are you sure about that? I
Yeah,
don't know. I can't remember much. I'll just trust you.
it sounds good. And also, I think you should roll an alliance character. I think you might like it.
Now, something about that really sounds wrong.
No, it's
I'm not sure what, but
fine.
my instinct is telling me that is the worst thing I could possibly do.
No.
and make it a gnome.
It'd be
character.
even worse if I made a gnome. It's like, the worst thing I could possibly do is make a gnome,
No,
and I'm
no,
not
the
sure
worst
why
thing
I'm
you could
thinking
do-
that, but I am.
No, the worst you could do is make a mage gnome.
No, I think the worst thing is if it were a gnome warrior.
Gnome warrior.
I
That's
have
like
a
the-
gnome warrior.
Hey,
That's like the worst thing I can do. What?
You just insulted two gnome warriors and
Oh, wait,
one
who was the other one?
Jer
Oh, crap, I didn't know he played a warrior.
and a gnome.
The gnome. I thought it was just you, Frazley. Sorry,
No,
Jer. I was just...
no, it's all right.
Warrior as well. I don't care about the gnome part, but I have a gnome warrior. What's wrong with a gnome warrior?
They're fun. They go.
Oh, great. So that's 3 people I've insulted. Well, if you'll excuse me,
Oh,
I
and-
need to go deal with myself. Apparently, I am a horrible person.
And JB, have you ever played a gnome warrior?
No, I think I only played a human warlock.
Okay.
Well, at least it's a
Best
warlock.
That is the best thing right there. Human warlock.
No, undead warlock.
The
No,
worst
human
is that
warlock.
Undead.
the worst is
Human.
a human paladin is the worst.
Okay.
So Medros?
No, I didn't.
He's not even here to defend himself.
Okay, true.
Yeah, Frazley, what the hell?
No.
And by the way, Frazley, I'm guessing you were trying to insult me. I don't play as a human.
No,
I think
I-
humans are the most boring race to ever be added to any fantasy game. It's pointless.
I agree. I think
I
the
like being a human.
I
Yeah, but
agree.
being a
I
human is boring.
I only made it to like Go Dire, and then like I stopped playing the game for like a long time. I'm a pretty boring person, so I chose human.
Good to
I
know.
like to play myself, which is human.
Welcome, Crunk.
squeak.
I just see that he showed up.
Squeak. Hey, Crunk.
I think he needs a microphone.
Oh yeah.
Or potentially headphones if he can't hear us.
Maybe he can't hear us.
You'll warm up to me like a bad case of the flu. Oh wow. Actually, yeah, I haven't either. Crap.
Uh-oh.
I never get.
I don't do this shot. I do the mist. I just wait a little longer for the mist.
What's the mist?
The flu mist. It's a nasal mist instead of an vaccination. There are people who argue it doesn't work, but I never catch the flu, so I'm going to say it works because I get that, and I don't need a needle in my arm because I don't like needles in my arm.
Heyo!
Okay, so Krunk's here, and he's claiming we'll warm up to him.
Okay.
I can't hear him.
He can hear us.
So,
okay.
Good to know.
So yeah.
How do I warm up
I'm
to
sorry.
a person that I don't know anything about? I'm confused. Convince me, Krunk. Come on, convince me.
Yes. Squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh, and I have to say, after playing Warlock for a while now, mages aren't the class that I feel like, why would I ever play again? It's Shadow Priest. I'm like, why would I waste my time playing Shadow Priest when I can be a Warlock?
Yeah.
Shadow Priest is trash. I hate Shadow Priest so much. No offense to the people who play it, because I've seen some people get top DPS on that, and good for them. But I always felt like it was really boring.
I really liked it pre-expansion. I was playing a Shadow Priest a lot, but I'm kind of like, I still get to do some evil casting stuff, but I also have demons I can send out and portals and all that kind of stuff. It just seems far more interesting.
I enjoyed Shadow Priest and Vanilla. That was the last time I really played it faithfully. No, I wasn't trying to use a priest.
I thought Shadow Priest was better before the revamp of Legion. I was able to somewhat enjoy the class before, and I thought the whole Shadow Form thing was cool, and that was enough. Basically, Shadow Form and Levitate were enough to keep me playing it.
Yeah.
But now that they made it so bad that I can't even enjoy those two spells. Even though Shadow Form's now a passive. But I can't enjoy it anymore, as cool as it looks.
Passive now? So you're always in Shadow?
I thought it was. I think so.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You can. It started that way, and then in one of the patches, they made it so you can turn it off again.
Okay. But, yeah.
But they also just added that goofy thing they did to Levitate, which a lot of people are not happy with. That just came out. When you levitate now, it looks like you have a sparkler in your butt.
Oh, so kind of like how in Legion they decided, hey, you know the red flying cloud? Yeah, we're going to make it so when it's on the ground, it farts.
Yeah. Like
that sort of stupidness.
I did not enjoy the Fire Mage orbs. Like, you couldn't turn those on and off. I, for the longest time, could not figure that out. So I was doing the Lucid Nightmare stuff. And I'm trying to do these puzzles with these glowing orbs floating around my head and all these things I'm looking at I get right in front of my view. I finally figured out how to turn off the orbs right before I redeemed for the quest.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, or at least I don't think I know what you're talking about with the farting cloud.
On the Fire Mage artifact, it has these 3 orbs that will fly around your head.
Oh yeah, Warlocks have the same thing with the purple orbs. Yeah,
it's just like, thankfully they added a way to turn it off, but I didn't figure out how to turn that off until like a week or 2 ago.
There used to be a glyph way back in the day to turn it off and on.
Okay. Now I just go to the mage person in the order hall and turn it on and off. But it was just like, you couldn't have made it a spell to turn it on and off? But I guess they didn't want to have...
Like I said, it used to be a glyph.
What would be a fun class, though? It would be a bard. That might sound random.
Okay, I've actually watched some videos looking into it, and I've tried thinking of some possibilities for the bard class myself, and it is a mistake. It would be the most boring class in WoW, because as cool as ETC is in Heroes of the Storm, keep in mind, he basically has 4 abilities, and that's about it, and you wouldn't be able to... you wouldn't be able to do a whole lot. You'd have 1 spec. You wouldn't really be able to do much. Maybe 2 specs, like a healing thing, but you'd get annoyed with the class itself because you'd want to turn off your game sound after a while. If it's just an obsession over playing music, you'd start to get annoyed with it after a while.
Doesn't EverQuest have a bard class, I think?
Yeah, and so did Star Wars Galaxies. And I was both a bard and a dancer in Star Wars Galaxies. I spent many hours dancing.
Now, did you think that the bard class was fun there, or did you find that playing music over and over again, the same song, nonstop, got a little redundant?
I was 12, so the fact that...
Oh, no. Never mind.
So
12
nowadays,
the epitome of redundancy.
Yeah.
Are you talking about how to play a mage where it goes 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 2 3?
Yes, because I mained mage for a while. So yeah, there are some classes that are a lot more keybind driven, like even Arms Warrior. It's pretty much the same rotation.
Were you ever able to get used to Fury? Because I've never been able to get used to Arms.
I think once I get used, I'm currently leveling another warrior on Fury, just so I can see what it's like. I think once I do that, I'll like it better. I think I got to get my artifact for Fury up. I've been putting it into Concordance.
Yeah, I had a good one today. Actually, I had switched to Pratt for the Corrin Dire Brew fight. Forgot I was in Pratt, and I had like a 400 some million AP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I used it on Pratt though, which I didn't want to do. I had been real careful so far in Legion of not using AP on the wrong spec, but oh well.
Yeah, I keep using it on my arms, and they're like, why did you use it on Fury? But it's just like, it appears in your bag, and it's just so shiny to click. Well, with that, I see the time slowly heading out. So I think it is time for us to sign off. So, Deceiverr.
I just died. After getting the boss to 1% health, died.
Are you in a group or solo?
Check your DMs on Discord. You'll see. And you don't have to say anything, you can just leave it at what you see. Does that explain it?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
But with that, they can find your level 104 dead druid at Deceiverr_13 with 2 R's. And JB, where can people find you?
Oh, I am at Dafreakzo, DAFREAKZO, Twitter. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm also teaching English Chinese students, and one of my students, Nick, over in China, should be listening to your episode tonight. So,
hey, Nick. Hey, Nick.
Greetings.
Hello.
And Jer, people in China can find you on Twitter at Jer Plays WoW.
Shot.
Yep.
Oh, I'm listening like a hawk for that stuff. I'm not gonna miss any of it.
Well, if people can watch Lady Emma like a hawk.
Shot.
At Lady
At Lady_Emma.
On Twitter. And
hey, don't forget my YouTube channel.
Oh,
someday I'll continue editing, leveling.
Yes, go to Deceiverr13 on YouTube, and MySpace, and Zanga, LiveJournal.
That's MySpace.
Wait, are you?
Oh, Open Diary. Oh my God.
Open Diary. Wow.
You do realize I know what MySpace is, right?
Okay, good.
I'm not that kind of millennial.
But do you know Zanga, Friendster?
Friendster. There was Dead Journal also. I don't know if that's still a thing.
Dead Journal and
it was Live Girls, like Live Journal, but for like goth kids.
Nice.
Why is that a thing?
I don't know if it still is. I definitely know it was though.
All right, let me rephrase that. Why was that a thing?
There are many things that happened that are pretty questionable.
Yeah,
Evidently.
it's the internet. And they can find Papa Crunk at... I have this in a note. I hear clicking.
Yeah, okay, who's clicking? JB?
Yeah, I was guilty. Sorry.
You should have pled the fifth.
Nah,
I think I
not
just
this
made
time.
up a word. Pled. I feel like I made that up.
You can find Papa Crunk, who was on the episode in spirit, at tcrunk360. Definitely follow them on there. You can find me. I'm Frazley at Frazley.com. I believe in the next year I'm going to be on a Frazzlecast episode, but I'm still not sure.
You're not sure if you're going to be on a Frazzlecast episode again in the next year?
Well, no, I keep waiting to get on Frazzlecast, but Frazley keeps turning me down. So it's like, okay,
What a dick.
I know.
Not a
How
fan.
dare he?
I
I hate him.
I
He's
think
such
we
a
should-
jerk.
I think we should pun him.
Oh, believe
You know
me,
why we don't
I've
like
got
him?
you.
It's
I'm
'cause
ahead of
he's a
you on that
gnome.
one.
Yeah.
It is because he's a gnome. Sorry, Jared.
Sure.
Gnomes suck.
Dirty gnomes.
Anyone who wants to challenge me on that on Twitter, you heard him at Deceiverr 2Rs _13. Challenge me on the concept that gnomes suck. I will roast you.
Not
I'll
PG.
see your
They can
North-
just stand up and they have the perfect height.
I'll see your notes.
Yeah,
so I can
perfect to
rate
get
it.
punted.
And I'm still waiting for an email at carlbanks@gmail.com.
Papa Crunk says gnome buddy likes gnomes.
Oh,
Nobody likes gnomes. You know what? He was right. I am warming up to him.
he is awesome. There'll be an episode where we'll actually hear from him, but yeah, he's awesome. But yeah, thank you all for coming out to the Frazzlecast. Deceiverr had something to say.
I had meant to mute my mic. I was more thinking aloud.
Okay.
My bad.
And yeah, thank you all for coming out to the show. Remember to be awesome. Punt all gnomes. I'm a gnome saying this, so don't really punt all gnomes.
And don't
You should
forget
join your
to eat
Discord,
my
too.
rock cookies.
Yes. Eat lot
And
cookies.
also, don't forget to buy Punty McGee's boots. Punting gnomes since 2004.
Yes. And join the Discord at sparkspans.com, where you can join in on these, see and hear all the stuff in real time with no latency compared to Twitch.
Wow. And if I call now, do I get any special benefits?
Absolutely. For the next
But wait, there's more.
5 callers, you will get a free blanket.
That's it?
Yes, that's all we could afford.
Never mind. I'm not calling anymore. Goodbye.
Not even one of those pillows that the guy sells on TV,
Oh,
Oh, now you got my attention again. A pillow? Sounds
Yes.
good.
a pillow.
right?
Free pillow and a blanket. Wow. Homeless expansion set right there.
And Lady Emma will throw in a bottle of wine.
You could use the
no.
cardboard from the
She's like,
package.
I heard her saying no.
Yeah, no. If you want to come hang out with me, I will share a bottle of wine as long as you bring something to, balance it out. Maybe another bottle of wine.
Okay, so a wine for wine trade. That actually seems pretty good.
No. We gotta drink both bottles here, though.
It's okay. It's okay. I swear I'm not drunk. It's okay. I swear I'm not drunk. Okay. It's okay if I drive. I'm not drunk. It's okay. I swear. This is what happens when I get tired. I start just being a complete and utter idiot. I am so sorry, listeners. If there's anyone still listening at this point. Frazley!
Frazzlecast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment. Views expressed by the host and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended.